An idea, a vision. The Hill Academy was started in 2006 to produce the best student athletes in the world. Today, the legacy of the original 16 students pulses throughout the school. But the world is changing, innovating, and creating, and so are we. So you better give it your all, every day, empty the tank, or it's the next man up.
Hi there. Welcome to our next episode of the Next One Up podcast. Hosted by current Hill students, Next One Up is a show that targets the highest levels of achievement, independent thought, leadership, and legacies of various individuals from then and now. Through this podcast, listeners gain a variety of perspectives of student athletes past and what it takes them to make it to the next level. My name is Dyson Williams, a current postgraduate student and member of the senior men's lacrosse team here at the Hill Academy. Today we are joined by Hill women's lacrosse coach and teacher, Tory Merrill. Although coaching lacrosse, Tory has a very detailed background in track and field, where she attended University of Toronto, competing on both the lacrosse and track and field team. On the lacrosse team, she was a 5-time OUA All-Star and 2005 OUA Rookie of the Year. With the track and field team, she was a 5-time OUA All-Star as well, two-time CIS All-Canadian and 4-time CIS medalist. So how are you doing, Tori?
Good, thanks. Happy to be here.
That's awesome. Happy to have you here. So obviously, the last name you can see automatically. The Merrill family kind of started the Hill. You get to work with your brothers, your parents, and kind of see how the Hill has grown from then. But so can you talk about how do you like working with your entire family, that kind of aspect?
Yeah, it's great. Pretty fortunate to have a family that I really enjoy being with every day. But it's pretty cool. All of us have similar yet kind of unique from each other background, and so coming together, we obviously have been raised similarly, but we all have very different points of views and very different personalities. So yeah, it's just been a great experience working with one another and seeing each other in that light. It definitely makes it a 24/7 job. Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinners, we're talking about what's going on at the Hill, but that can be great too. And yeah, I mean, we call the Hill our Hill family, and I think it really stems from our family and the opportunity that we have to work with one another every day.
Yeah, that's cool, and I think from hearing that and obviously seeing how the Hill has come along, like you said, it's a 24/7 job, but I think that has to be an advantage for the Hill and how the growth is made, because maybe if it wasn't just like a immediate family that kind of started it and branched off the growth of the Hill, then maybe the amount of growth that it's made so far wouldn't have happened. So I think it's cool to see that.
Well, yeah, we like to think so too. We live and breathe it every second, so the passion doesn't end at 4:18 when the school day ends.
That's awesome. So when the Hill kind of became the first idea and was first thought of, and your dad kind of brought that up, what were your thoughts once it kind of like opened up and once the idea became a reality?
Yeah, so I actually was away at school when it all developed and in the first couple years. So I was a little bit removed from the beginning process. Obviously hearing about it at nightly phone calls and whenever I'd go home. But yeah, so I wasn't really involved in the beginning process. Obviously really excited about the whole concept, and it seemed to be such a perfect fit for both my brothers who were finished their post-secondary careers and figuring out what they wanted to do with their lifelong careers, and also at the stage at where my dad was at. It just all seemed to be great timing to be developing this idea. But yeah, I was removed from the process, and looking back, it's pretty. I think back of kind of cool times where I'm back at Thanksgiving dinner, and we've got all the residents' kids in our house for Thanksgiving. So I kind of experienced the beginning stages at an arm's length because I was away at school, but it was really cool to see what they were developing and how they took their idea and started it, how it came to fruition.
Yeah, for sure. I bet obviously, like you said, you weren't a part of it completely, but you got to be a part of some of it. And obviously now that you're working with the Hill full time and you kind of made a career out of this place, and that's kind of cool how now that once you're away at school, but now you found your spot here. So obviously, since you've been around the Hill for a long time, and like you said, it's a Hill family. We at the Hill, we talk about all the time the numbers 18 and 45. We honor these the two boys that lost their lives way too early, but it's cool hearing different opinions of what they mean to you, because there's so many different ways you can look at it and see it. But so can you talk to me what the numbers 18 and 45 mean to you?
Yeah, they mean so much, and in so many different ways. So obviously 18 represents Evan Frastaglio, grade 8 student. Again, I wasn't here at the Hill when he attended the Hill, so everything I'm hearing is hearing through my family and through some of the students that were there. But just his positivity on a daily basis and what he brought to the school. And also, that was one of the first years, if not the first year, we had a junior school program with the grade 8s, and I know that they were a really small and tight group. Tight-knit group, and I think just the message of Evan is, and the legacy is, how you can impact a new program, and the impact that you can have on a school. And I know those students that were a part of that junior school program were impacted greatly by him, both how he lived his life every day here at the Hill, and how they want to continue with that legacy that he left here at the Hill. And then Jameson, again, I wasn't here at the Hill when he was here. He was actually one of the students that was over at our house, like I said, for one of those Thanksgiving dinners. And I actually remember talking to my brothers about it after the dinner, and I was like, what's up with that Jameson kid? He never talks. It was a dinner, and it was a pretty lively crew. It was I don't know if other people on this podcast have talked about them, or just former alumni. Nils Thompson, who was the valedictorian, and Travis Como. They were really bubbly, outgoing personalities, and Jameson was really quiet. And that was only, you can think of it, Thanksgiving is a month after starting the school, and I guess he came in and really wanted to make a difference and to change his habits and really make the most of his program and of this program. And I think so much so that at the beginning he didn't want to make a mistake. So as just hearing again secondhand from the coaches and from the other guys is that he started to come more out of his shell as the year went on. But again, just the message that he left of one more rep and making use of every day and working as hard as you can. We provide the program for the students here, but it's up to them how they want to use it. And he experienced so much growth in this year, and it makes me emotional to think about how these two boys have left such an incredible legacy. And I also hope that it's really empowering for our students to know that they can have such a huge impact. These two boys had such a huge impact on such a number of student athletes and beyond, and our students have that opportunity as well, which is a really cool thing to think about.
Yeah, that's incredible, and obviously two very sad stories, but kind of how the legacies that they left, the way that they are talked about, and their numbers, how much they mean to us, is truly amazing, and shows that, like you said, the impact that like student athletes at such a young age can actually make on people's lives is truly incredible. So going to University of Toronto, you decided to go there, and you participated in track and field and played lacrosse. So why was your decision at the U of T?
So I was very much a multi-sport athlete all through high school. I played every sport at a fairly high level: basketball, volleyball, track and field, lacrosse, and throughout high school. After my grade 10 year, I came second at OFSA in track and field and triple jump, and I was recruited by the University of Toronto, their junior development program, and so I started training with their track club starting the summer after grade 10. So I was exposed to their coaching. I wasn't training with the varsity team. It was a junior development program, but I was exposed to their coaching and their program. In my head, I had always thought that I would go somewhere far away for university, seeing my brothers, going and traveling to different places, watching them play. I just always imagined that would be the same for me. But just how it all kind of unraveled at that time, the girls recruiting process for lacrosse is nowhere near what it is now. I never played in the fall. There were no fall tournaments available for us, those sort of recruiting tournaments. I played on Team Ontario in high school, but we just didn't. There were a few girls that were playing in the NCAA, but it really wasn't that prevalent, and the opportunities weren't that well known, or how you can kind of attack those opportunities. So I just kind of went with the flow, and I continued to have success in track and field in high school. I won OFSA in grade 12. I came second at nationals, and I represented Team Canada at the Pan American Games, and all with these U of T coaches who I started to develop a great relationship with. And so my coaches asked me to come down on a visit at the beginning of my grade 12 year, or maybe the summer going into grade 12. And in the back of my head, I was like, no, it's too close to home. I probably won't do it. But then after the weekend and being exposed to everything the school has to offer, it's one of the best academic schools in the world. And my track coaches have coached Olympians that have Olympians as teammates. My coaches told me what my track schedule would be, and it would be primarily NCAA competitions. And then I didn't have to give up playing lacrosse as well. They were flexible to let me still play in the fall. So at that time it checked off all the boxes for me, and I went to U of T, and I had a great experience there, challenged both academically and athletically.
That's really cool to hear, and obviously, as you said, you didn't really know, and even by the time you visit, you didn't see like, okay, I'm probably not going to go here, but it's cool how seeing how things can just change when you really see what something has to offer, and when you went there and you went through your schooling and everything, did you always see yourself becoming like a teacher? Did you like see yourself becoming a teacher and then a lacrosse coach as well?
No, not at all. Actually, I went into university thinking I would be more on the health side, taking primarily health sciences and kinesiology courses. And then I was a sophomore. I was in second year when the Hill developed. I also was experiencing some labs in first year dealing with cadavers, and kind of felt that that's not the right fit for me. And anyways, so I was in second year, and the school was starting, the Hill Academy was developing. That's when my parents, or my dad and my brothers and my family were developing this whole concept. So now my mindset shifted to, how can I impact the Hill? I'm coming at it from a different angle. They were all directly involved in the development of the school, and I'm coming in at a later time. I wanted to figure out how I could best impact the Hill, what I could provide that they weren't providing. And so after U of T, I decided to do a master's at University of Ottawa, and I did it in human kinetics. But I decided to not do a research-based master's because I wanted experience leading into the Hill Academy. I knew this would be a lifelong career for me, so it would be a great opportunity to get experience outside of the Hill. And so I was able to do a bunch of different sport marketing internships. Mostly at the time it was called Trojan 1, now it's called T1. And I was under an unbelievable supervisor named Norma O'Reilly, who's now at the University of Guelph. But I got a lot of experience of building a brand and expanding on that brand, and even just a little bit more on the business side, how to develop a business plan, and just being a consultant for different sports organizations, and it was a really great experience that I'm really glad I had coming into the Hill. But yeah, so I didn't answer your question as to being a teacher. So then after my master's degree, I started at the Hill, and my role was more on the marketing, business, admissions side, and Carly Quinn and myself started the women's lacrosse program here. Primarily developing a standardized recruiting process and admissions process here at the Hill, building our brand, and then developing the women's lacrosse program. While I was doing that, I was finding myself really jealous of some of the teachers and some of the work that they were doing, and in the back of my mind that was kind of brewing. So then after a few years at the Hill, I went back to Teachers College. First year was a 2-year program, so I've done a lot of post-secondary. So I went to the 2 years Teachers College program while working at the Hill, and now this is my second year being a teacher here at the Hill.
That's really cool how it's kind of changed over time of what you're going to do. But as you said, you and Carly Quinn, who I had as a teacher in grade 10, you guys have started the program, the women's lacrosse program here, and obviously that's come a long way as well. So I do want to talk about the growth of that over the years.
Oh yeah. So this is really bad that I don't know off the top of my head. I believe we're in our 8th year with the girls program, 7th or 8th year. And it's really cool to see how it's evolved. So I mean, we started off with some pretty small rosters. This year we have our biggest roster. Right from the bat, though, our very first group, we had a really, really solid foundation that really set the tone for our girls lacrosse program. Those are still girls that we talk to regularly, and they have such an investment in our program because they were such a large part of developing the culture within our girls program. Again, it's starting a new program when there's already an existing program, and it's been pretty cool to watch how our girls have made the girls lacrosse program special on its own right. I don't even know where to start to think about how much this program has grown and evolved over the years, and how lucky we've been able to work with each one of these girls. It's truly attributed to their commitment and their buy-in to the culture and how they've embraced it. And then as a result, they've created such a special culture and community, and really a sisterhood that will last them for life. It's really special.
Yeah, that's awesome. And in my 4th year here now, even over the last 4 years, it's grown tremendously. And I was there when it was still a smaller kind of roster, and now seeing how big it is this year, it's unbelievable. Now, kind of more personal questions for you. I want to talk about maybe like one of your biggest accomplishments that you've had over here, whether it's athletics, academics, anything.
Oh, I would say making Team Canada for lacrosse for the World Cup in 2017. That was something that, I mean, it's most recent for me athletically, so obviously it's on the top of my head, and then we went on to win the silver medal, which obviously it's disappointing to lose in the final game, but had to have a huge win against Australia to get there, and it's a huge accomplishment that I'll remember for the rest of my life. I mean, some high school accomplishments, which is pretty sad to talk about high school, but just different championships with OFSA and the national championships, and through you're really putting me on the spot here, thinking I don't think about this that often. But yeah, I think after really pursuing track and field in university, and I had some pretty, it's so weird to talk about, but I had some pretty exciting moments, I guess, in university, winning pentathlon, bronze medal, and a silver medal in relays, and those were exciting moments in their own right. Conference championships, but then after I graduated, and especially working at the Hill every day coaching lacrosse, I kind of just in the back of my head had unfinished business with lacrosse. I didn't feel like I had reached my potential or I really pursued it. And so I pursued it in that first year that Carly and I started the lacrosse program, and I was cut from the 2013 roster in that final cut. And then I decided to go back for the 2017, and so really proud that I was able to crack that roster and go on to win the silver at Worlds.
No, that's awesome, and it's kind of cool seeing that, and you're hearing about that, and obviously, as you were talking about Team Canada, that's got to be unbelievable being able to wear the maple leaf and representing your country that you grew up in, and you obviously staying for university there, so you've kind of always been Canada. So that's obviously you should be very proud of yourself for that. And obviously, as you said, it's tough losing the last game, but making it that far and representing your country and being second place is still incredible. So it's awesome. All right, so time to move on. Thanks to our partners at New Balance for providing us with the best shoes in the game. Footwear that fits comfortably in both your daily life and the inclement weather involved in sport. We at the Hill Academy are lucky to be partnered with the best footwear in the game. Now it's time for our favorite segment where we end things off with a variety of random questions to leave our guests on the edge of their seats. Are you ready for rapid fire?
Yes.
All right. What is your favorite pentathlon event?
Hurdles.
Are you a morning or night person?
Morning.
Lacrosse or track and field?
Ooh, it's like two children. I guess lacrosse right now.
What is your dream destination?
Somewhere warm.
Anywhere specific?
Greece. I want to go to Greece.
Nice. Who's your all-time favorite athlete?
Again, I mean, obviously my brothers are two mentors of mine. Relevant right now in terms of track and field. Really look up to Castor Semenya. I think she's a huge inspiration.
What is your nickname?
Oh, a lot. I have a lot, I think. Tor is pretty obvious. I've been trying to spread tea time, but it hasn't caught on. I guess that's it.
Are you a coffee or tea person?
Tea. Boring.
What is your favorite sports team? Any sport?
San Diego Seals.
Yeah. And finally, what is your favorite movie genre?
Oh, I'm a big movie buff. I like them all. I guess I'm gonna say a musical.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't know if I saw that one coming, but that's awesome. All right, well, that's all we have today. So thank you for joining us on this episode, and it was great talking to you. And honestly, so good luck with you and the girls team for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. All right, that's all we have today for today's episode of the Next One Up podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to tune in next week for the next edition. We'll hit you with our Hill Academy send-off. 1845 Hill Pride E.